Hi, I'm David Hedges with Bookman Bright Capital Management and Bookman Bright Consulting, and we're here today with Brett Zabek from the Lake Norman Chamber of Commerce. And the reason I had Brett here today is that once I joined the chamber, there were a number of things that I didn't realize how much benefit there were to them until I had a couple of meetings with Brett, and then he gave me a little more detail about what the chamber can offer, and I call them hidden benefits. They're not really that hidden, but they are things that I think would benefit a member and a business owner tremendously if they had the detail about them, or I should say took the time to discover the detail about them. So Brett, if you wouldn't mind, tell us a little bit about a few of those things that you think are top of the list for the benefits for a new member that comes in that is either has an existing business or has a new business that you feel are just have-tos when it comes to taking advantage of them once you become a member of the chamber.
Sure. The biggest underutilized asset that I think the chamber offers right now is our website. Mm-hmm. With the basic membership, with any membership that you have, you get a page on the internet. You get a web page that is somewhat customizable for you and your business. You can add content, pictures, things like that to it. The best part about it is our website is SEO enabled. Okay?
Right.
Now, when people think of the internet and Google searches and things like that, I liken it to the cereal aisle at the grocery store. You walk through, you see 3 or 4 boxes of Frosted Flakes, so on and so forth. Well, it creates a bigger presence by having more boxes, right? Well, your chamber membership, your listing in our directory, provides you another facing, another spot on the internet. So if someone goes in and looks for financial planners, let's say, in the Lake Norman area, they see Bookman Bright come up, it'll be your website.
Right.
Well, also the Bookman Bright chamber listing will show up in that same search. Okay, so it gives you 2 facings on the internet. Bigger presence keeps some of your competitors off the front page, right. But it more
in the SEO graveyard, as it were, right?
Exactly.
Anything not first page, I was told one time that it's the graveyard. So
it is, yes, but more importantly, it's something that is no additional cost.
Right.
It just takes some of your time to sit and do it. You can probably crank it out in 10 to 15 minutes.
Well, by the way, it was surprising to me too, not that you weren't telling the truth when I was in your office and you were talking to me about that, but when I went back to my office, and of course, because I'm a little bit of a wirehead, I had to check it out. And so when I did the search, I popped up and I'm like, well, gee, Brett was right. It really does come up on search on the first page.
We had one of our members as a restaurant who opened doors before they had their website up. And if you did a Google search for Lake Norman restaurants, they actually showed up first page. Right. And it was their chamber listing that showed up on the first page.
Yeah, no, it's awesome, especially the money that you can spend, with SEO and getting ranked in Google and the other search engines. I mean, you can spend some serious cash. Absolutely. And then again, Google changed the algorithms or something happens, and then, whoosh, you get to start all over.
Sure. So, and the other part of it too is when you talk about the algorithms of Google is the tags.
Right.
Your chamber listing, you can insert tags. So the tags not only help with finding you on our website. So if someone goes to our website and does a search for financial planners or whatnot, or looks for certain tags, you'll pop up.
Right.
But those tags also work on the internet. So you get the dual benefit of it.
Right. So double duty, basically.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And it's no additional cost. So it's all built into your package.
Well, and all of that is good to know. There's another benefit that is actually one of the reasons why we're here today, and that we've got David Woodruff, who's shooting the footage for us today. David, are you able to step around here real quick and show your mug, just for everybody out there? David does a great job of producing the videos for us. Dave, say hi. So that's our guy. That's who we use. I'd highly recommend him, by the way. But one of the things that I was very impressed with is the freebies, the free meetings that you have in the conference room with the chamber. By the way, the meeting room is available to members.
Absolutely.
I think it's $20 an hour.
$20 an hour,
yep. And that's a resource as well that I, again, was very impressed with. And just on a whim, I went to one of the freebie lunch and learns or whatever it is, or maybe it's a morning breakfast, whatever. But there was Carrie. What's Carrie's?
Carrie Bird.
So Carrie Bird was there, and he's a social media guy. And doing his presentation, and then somebody else was there beside him, starts talking, and to one of the women that was to the right of me, and about video, and there's a promo going on, this guy that's doing with Genesis Film, so on and so forth. Next thing I know, I've hired them and they're doing video for me. So again, tell me a little bit about that asset that the
Sure.
chamber offers with the free lunches or breakfasts and the presentations. You have members coming in, kind of showing their wares, if you will.
Sure. Yeah, we have a few different programs that we put on that are free to members.
Right.
We have a Lunch and Learn series that we do. Actually, we just had one yesterday that was on working with and recruiting millennials.
Right.
Really,
I saw that, by the way.
it was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
It was really good because the cultural shift between, if you go all the way, the baby boomers who were cycling out through the Gen X to the Gen Ys, there is a cultural shift on how they interact and how they work together.
Right.
I kind of experienced it, but didn't really pay attention to it. It was really pretty eye-opening, seminar that lasted about an hour. But that's free to the members. The seminar you were talking about, the workshop that Carrie Bird does.
Right.
We actually have two different organizations. Carrie Bird with social media consultants and Kevin Smith with McBride website design. Both do social media training seminars every month. It's free of charge to all members. Carrie does his in the morning on, I think, like the first Tuesday of the month.
Right.
Kevin does his like the third Wednesday of the month in the afternoon. And they cover various topics, be it how to use Facebook for your business, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, and how to best leverage those things to help with branding and marketing and whatnot.
And those resources and having those available to you as a member for free.
Absolutely.
Right. I mean, obviously these guys, you can hire them. But having that information is, I just think there's a number of benefits that go along with being a member of the Lake Norman Chamber of Commerce that I wasn't aware of until I kind of got into it a little bit, had a couple of impromptu meetings with you, and it just started unfolding. So anyway,
No, there's a lot of additional things like that just you have to become active with your membership. And the more active you become with your membership, the more little nuggets, as you call it, kind of pop up. They're like, like our Focus Friday programs or other things that we do. It's just a lot of different aspects to it, and it's best for you to kind of engage to find out what's going to best serve your needs as a business.
Right.
Kind of give me kind of a little more in-depth background of what is Bookman Bright about? What kind of services do you provide? What do you do for either our members or the community out there?
Sure. I've got Bookman Bright Capital Management is my financial planning firm. And I've got a second business, which is my Bookman Bright Consulting. And I'm going to talk about the Bookman Bright Capital Management first, which is my core business where I started. And the Bookman Bright Consulting kind of came about accidentally, as some businesses do. The Bookman Bright Capital Management, my primary clients and focus are on business owners and also folks that are within, I call, striking distance of retirement. So let's say 5 to 10 years. Are looking for some help and advice, and maybe they've had the reins on their own, and now they feel like maybe they need to turn it over to a professional, and would like to get some additional advice and insight as to if they're on the right path and so on and so forth. So again, the Bookman Bright Capital Management I've been in the financial planning business now for a little over 18 years, and I've really enjoyed doing what I do. I'll talk a little bit about the Bookman Bright Consulting, which kind of came about by accident. In the realm of financial planning, you have investments and insurance and that sort of thing. Excuse me. And the Bookman Bright Consulting is the business that I do, that I provide the insurance through. So life insurance and disability insurance and those sorts of things. And as I was meeting with business owners and attracting new clients, I'd go to their offices, and I have a very strong background in communications and technology because my family had owned a communications business up in New York for years as I was growing up. So I'd go into their offices and I'd look at their tech and how they'd communicate in their office and their phone systems and so on and so forth. Sure. And I started giving them a few ideas here and there, and next thing you know, they're reaping the benefits and the rewards from that, either immediate cost savings or a more efficient system, being able to communicate within their office and maybe with their prospects and clients and that sort of thing. So my approach in the Bookman Bright Consulting, what I've done is when I go to a business owner and I meet them in their office, I'll certainly talk about the financial planning and their investments and the insurance and where they're headed and what their vision is of what they want their money to look like and their life to look like later on, and kind of take a snapshot, if you will. But I'll also kind of look around and see how they're doing business. I always try and provide ideas and cost savings tips so they can then use those additional funds that they reap, and maybe funnel that and gather, or I should say accumulate wealth outside of their business, i.e. their retirement accounts, that sort of thing. Absolutely. So it's kind of this natural progression where I'm going in there looking at things and ways to save money, and then we say, okay, now we've gathered all the eggs over here, we've gathered X amount of dollars, what are we going to do with this? And I also have a little bit of a flair for marketing. And so I'll look at their marketing and look at it. And again, not that I'm necessarily an expert in those areas, but I think that through me doing some marketing on my own and the communications and technology, I've got things that are working well for me. Right. So I'm a purveyor of those ideas for the business owner.
Right, yeah. If it works, it works.
Yeah, and it does. So again, it's an exciting piece of my business. Again, the Bookman Bright Consulting is that business provides the insurance for my individual clients as well. So I use the two businesses to provide a complete solution for my individual clients as well as my business clients.
So they dovetail into each other pretty seamlessly if you think about it.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they're I would say they're definitely related. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, heavily related. So yeah, that's what I do. And again, my approach is just an initial meeting, go in there and just kind of look at and see how the business owner is doing business, and see if there's ways to improve. And if there are, great. If they're not, it's kind of a check for them to say, hey, we're all set. We're doing well. Everything's in line, so on and so forth.
So is there any kind of general, I would say, markers that you would typically, if you go and talk to a business or you're evaluating a business, kind of, I wouldn't really call them red flags because they're not really danger points, but things that are kind of like, well, this kind of situation's here, or this situation's there. It might be a good time to have someone like yourself come in and help out. I mean,
well, one of the things that's worked extremely well for me is systems and processes, and that's for individuals as well. It's like systems and processes. What systems and processes do you have in place to accumulate wealth? What systems and processes do you have in place as a business owner to take good care of your clients, to bring in new prospects? Creating prospect funnels, as I call them. So what are those, and what do they look like? And are they working well? And if they're not, what can you do to improve those? So those, that's kind of on the front end.
Sure.
Just the evaluation. Again, I call it the listening and the learning. So I go in there just, with individual clients as well as business owners. It's like, we're going to listen, I'm going to learn, then we're going to figure out a way if we can, we can improve. So, and if there's no improvement to be made, it's just a nice check.
Absolutely.
They can say, good, we're all set. Thanks, David, for coming by. Great.
Seen a while.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect.
Now, with the economy, the way things were back, 5 years ago, let's say 6 years ago, have you noticed that more and more businesses, or more importantly, business owners, are starting to actually consider retirement? 'Cause for a while there,
yeah,
it was hey, I'm never retiring.
Yeah.
Are you starting to kind of see now where the economy and the market, people are now saying, hey, you know what, things are getting stronger. It's not a pipe dream anymore. It's something that I can now actually start planning for, or go back into planning and building.
There's no question that there's some optimism back, and it feels like retirement can be a reality. So it's like, okay, now I can retire. I can possibly retire. I won't have to work until I'm 88.
Some of us won't.
Well, yeah. So, but yeah, it's definitely there. And again, looking at what's going on right now in their financial picture is important. And the consulting piece of it, combined with the wealth management piece, it's just a nice fit because it's really money, right? I mean, it's either money out or it's money in. So how is the money coming in, right? And where is the money going out to? Right. And you have two choices. You can basically create or accumulate wealth outside of your business, or you can continue to try and create wealth inside of your business. So by building the business. And really there needs to be a healthy balance of both going on. So, and that's, yeah.
So with the money aspect of it, the thought that I had, or question that I have is you talk about accumulating wealth and building wealth, both inside and outside your business. Part of your services, do you look at ways, so for instance, you speak with a business owner.
Right.
Maybe he's thinking of expanding, growing his business, adding on in some way. Is that one of the services you provide, is to sit back and look at it, not just from a personal, hey, you want to retire standpoint, but do business planning where it's
Yeah.
hey, listen, I'm at a point where maybe I can expand, or I should look into maybe going to a new area. And you say, well, financially speaking,
Right.
here's where you are resource-wise. I mean, is that something that you can definitely help people with?
I can. And if I don't possess the expertise, if I feel like I'm getting out of my comfort zone, then I'll bring in someone else that does have that expertise. So I'm never going to go out to a point where it's guesswork.
Sure.
So, but it is somewhat of a natural progression. Again, it's money. I deal in the money business and in the wealth business. So, I'm having those conversations, and I get a lot of, David, I've got a question. So, and again, sometimes I'll be able to address it and have the answer, and sometimes I may not have the expertise, and I'll just refer it out to somebody who does.
Right. So it's really an all-encompassing kind of wealth or cash or money solution that you help provide people with. It's not just, hey, I want to retire.
No, and that's a big misconception.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, when you think financial planner, you think
you do
retire.
Yeah. Well, I think that also one of the things that sets me apart from the majority of the financial advisors, planners out there is the fact that I've owned a number of different businesses along the way, including my family owning a business. We've owned real estate offices. We've owned insurance agencies. I've owned my investment planning business now for over 18 years. So having all that business owner experience, of course, has enabled me to kind of sift through some of the systems and processes that work and don't work.
Yeah.
So, and I'm able to be a purveyor of those, so to speak. And I learn a lot from my clients too. My individual and business owner clients. They bring a lot of great ideas to me. So that's it.
That's one of the advantages or luxuries, actually, of my position, is I get to have conversations like this with people, talking about their business. They'll come to me.
Oh, you're like the bee that pollinates. You are, seriously. No, all kidding aside, he is the guy that pollinates. He's the bee because you have all these great ideas coming in, and also you're fielding information or ideas that don't work. Yeah. Right, so you could be prevent somebody from making a disastrous mistake.
I've been told before that I myself am an asset for the company because I've been in business one way, shape, or form. We're either running businesses or working for businesses.
By the way, I'd endorse the fact that you're an asset for the company.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
But no, I've been doing stuff for 20 years.
Right.
Right. And I've worked as a consultant. I've worked in frontline sales, sales management. I mean, a very comprehensive business background.
Right.
Got the MBA from Wake. I've seen a lot in a lot of different industries. So it's great when people come in and ask me questions about,
you've got a lot of intellectual property.
Can I market this, or how do I do this, or can you give me some ideas on that? Because it helps me help them.
Right.
And one of the things that when I went to work with the chamber, I was asked, what do you do for the chamber? The easiest way is to kind of encapsulate it was just I help my members live the dream.
Right.
Essentially, that's it. It's whatever reason you went into business for yourself, doing what you do for whatever reasons. I'm just another tool in the toolbox or an asset for you, their resource to help you get wherever you want to get. And if that's to build something to pass on to your kids, build something to sell and retire, that's irrelevant to me. It's a matter of I get all these different ideas from people like yourself who say, I've tried this. What do you think of that? Or hey, can you give me an idea of a way I can reach this type of audience? Yeah, no, it's so varied and different.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
That's part of the fun of it is that it is it's varied and different.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, again, I wanted to thank you for being here today, Brett. So definitely enjoyed it. Again, I'm David Hedges with Bookman Bright Capital Management, Bookman Bright Consulting. I had Brett Zabek here with the Lake Norman Chamber of Commerce with me today. So thanks again, Brett. And
thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity.
You are quite welcome. We'll see you soon.
Absolutely.
All right.